Welcome to Cruise1st, celebrating 25 fabulous years. As always, it's great to see you, and I hope you are having a brilliant day, whatever you are up to. Right, it's time for some fascinating worldwide cruising now with the big name of Royal Caribbean, enjoying journeys that start in one place and end up somewhere altogether different. Now, they're the kind of itineraries you might not have seen before, and they open all kinds of travel opportunities. And joining me to take these journeys is Chloe Palmer from Royal Caribbean. Chloe, welcome back.
Thank you.
The last time you were here, we were completely live on our live shows.
We
weren't
were.
It was very, very exciting. Right, you know what I'm going to ask you first. What's the latest gossip, please, from Royal Caribbean? This is why you've come back so soon.
We've always got good gossip to share, and we've got some really good stuff coming up. So we've just celebrated a whole year of Icon of the Seas sailing from Miami.
How is that a year already?
It's crazy. Last time I was here, we'd literally just launched her, so it's crazy.
It is madness, isn't it, to think that, wow, it's obviously been a very, very busy year because that has just slipped by and so popular. I mean, we talked about this even before she launched as well, that it was going to be like trying to get a table at that restaurant that's always fully booked and whatever, and absolutely it's bearing fruit, isn't it? So much so that number 2 is very imminent in this class.
Very soon, yeah. So Star of the Seas, our second Icon class ship, launches in August, so only a few months away now, and she'll be doing the 7-night Caribbean like Icon but from Port Canaveral, so perfect for those Orlando cruise and stay holidays.
And here she is as well, absolutely beautiful. I mean, these are the mega ships, aren't they? But they are kind of like an all-encompassing resort, aren't they? They take some of the biggest, most well-known attractions in the world and they kind of say, look, we've got all that and more.
100%. All of those attractions you expect to see in places like Vegas and Florida theme parks and things like that, it's all in one place on our ships, and the Icon class have been designed so well to really still feel like you've got that element of space and you're not just kind of bumping into people and things like that. Loads of space, but still loads to do on board the ship.
I tell you, the big difference as well, though, is when you are, you know, in big theatres, in big venues, you don't get that intimacy. You don't really get the impact of that live entertainment, and that's what Royal Caribbean do so well. I mean, literally, it's billions of dollars go into an entertainment which is not just, okay, well, that was a great show. I mean, that was a jaw-droppingly great show.
It really is, and I know I work for the company, I'm a little bit biased, but the first time you go into the Aqua Theatre and you see the show, or the first time you're in the Royal Theatre and you see one of the West End productions, it is incredible. There is nothing like it in the world. It's so good.
I have to say, the Aqua Theatre, I saw it on Wonder, and I literally was heart in my mouth watching not just, you know, like a one-trick pony. It's like one jump. It's like, it's a series of performers doing the most incredible things.
Yeah, it's so impressive. And on Icon, we've now got the Aqua Dome, so it takes the best from the Aqua Theatre, but it's an indoor venue now, so it's slightly different. So we'll have to try and get you on board to see that.
Oh, well, yeah, correct answer. Absolutely. I'm loving that. Sounded like an invitation to me. Anyway, right, let's see what we've got coming up. Later in the show, we'll be travelling to the Caribbean for a stay in Puerto Rico and a 22-night exciting cruise back to Barcelona on the beautiful Brilliance of the Seas, which I have been on board. First, though, let's journey, really interesting one, this one, from Spain to South Africa. Now, this happens this October, and we're flying first over to Barcelona for a one-night hotel stay, and it's a kind of city that you know you are going to love. If you want more than one night in Barcelona, who wouldn't? It's a city you can go back to 1,000 times and still learn something new. And of course, it means you're there in plenty of time for the cruise. And let's face it, at the back end of October, I bet the weather's better in Barcelona than it is here. Now life gets even better as we join Voyager of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. I love it. I love Royal Caribbean ships, and I love the sense of space, and yet you've got this wonderful togetherness, but you've got space as well. It's a lovely balance, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think a ship like Voyager is the best of both worlds, because you've still got some of the firm favourites from Royal Caribbean, even though it is one of our slightly smaller ships, and you definitely do get that relationship with the crew on board and the space and everything on board to experience as well.
Some pretty exciting stuff as well. Royal Caribbean classics like the Royal Climbing Wall and the Flow Rider.
Yeah.
But you've got other things going on as well. So if you like a big water slide, it's there.
Yeah, you have, absolutely. And you know, one of my personal favourites, Cafe Promenade down on the Royal Promenade. So
yes.
Late night pizza when you're on your way back to bed and things like that. So all of those classic things that you think about with Royal, even though she is a smaller ship, you'll still get that same level of service.
It's choice as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's what you want. Actually, you know, for some people, you know, the biggest is not necessarily for them.
Yep.
The right thing. So actually having plenty of choice but actually fewer passenger numbers actually is reassuring for a lot of people.
Definitely, and it means that for an itinerary like this one, the ship being that bit smaller can also get into some of those destinations that our bigger ships wouldn't be able to get to. So best of both worlds.
Let's put that to the test then, shall we, and take our 18 nights. So we're going out of Barcelona, a day at sea. We're in Tangier in Morocco. I'm going to go through some of the tours as we go through the ports as well. There's a half-day tour here that does a scenic coastal drive to see the mythical Hercules cave and stroll through the Medina with its lovely souks and artisan shops, which sounds quite nice. A day at sea, one of my favourite places. I'm going in just a few weeks' time to Gran Canaria on the Canary Islands. Wonderful. And you can do a Taste of Gran Canaria tour here and visit a coffee plantation I never knew. There's a volcano there, and there's the Berizales Valley as well, which you can take on one single tour. It's a wonderful island full of sunshine, and that's what we want. Then we have a few days at sea, and we are across then to Walvis Bay in Namibia. So we're now in Africa, which is incredible. Sandboarding and quad biking you can do on a tour here in the Namib Desert Dunes, or you can go dolphin and whale watching here on a tour as well. Couple of days at sea, and our last port is Cape Town in South Africa. Now we stay on board overnight before we leave, and you can do a Cape Peninsula tour here and discover Hout Bay, the Cape of Good Hope and Simon's Town. It's a wonderful place to explore. And then it is time, sadly, to disembark. I mean, that 18 nights went very, very quickly. The great thing is, though, while you're on board, because you have got a chunk of sea days together, you can enjoy all the fabulous facilities that there are to do on board. And actually, this is a lovely kind of 50-50 trip, don't you think, Chloe?
Yeah.
It's one of those where you've got the ports to go and visit, but also you've got that balance of time where you can simply just enjoy the ship and have a holiday.
Absolutely, and I think giving yourself that time at sea days can sometimes be a little bit intimidating to people, but make the most of it. When do you ever get that time to just completely relax? And you know, Voyager has the adult-only solarium, which is one of my favourite places as well. Go and chill with a book and enjoy it.
And people think as well, if you've got a bunch of sea days, am I going to be sitting there during the day waiting for another meal, just twiddling my thumbs? And the answer is, well, if you want to be, yes, of course you can.
Yeah.
But conversely, there's loads going on, isn't there?
There will be so much going on, especially on sea days. The crew and the entertainment team put on so many things so that the choice is there if you want it, but you've also got the space and the different venues on board to go and relax as well. So, yeah.
Favourite restaurant for you?
I love all of them. I think on the classic ships, I just love the main dining room. That service, the 3-course meal, you know, the waiters and the staff get to know you. They remember your favourite glass of wine. Like, you can't beat that, in my opinion. Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it? It really does make the holiday. And talking of the holiday, let's do it then, shall we? It's an amazing package, this one. It is available with a deposit today. So if you want to nail the price that we've got, just £199 each today as a deposit. We'll get this price secured for you. I don't know how we've managed to do this. We've called in a lot of favours to get a price like this. That's exceptional. Remember, that flies you out to Barcelona from the UK. You get a night in a hotel there included, and then you've got 18 nights of cruising. This is one of those amazing cruises where you get more cruise nights for your money. That's exceptional. Because this is cruising with Royal Caribbean, where they really bring the entertainment, where there's so much included dining and activities and fabulous pools and things to do. And exciting times on board for the whole family, for everyone of all ages as well. Lots of people going away on multi-generational holidays as well. You'll be sailing out of Barcelona to Morocco and to the Canaries, and then we make our way across to South Africa to Walvis Bay, first in Namibia, and then ending with that overnight in Cape Town in South Africa, before then flying back to the UK. How on earth have we managed to do that for this price tag here. Even Chloe's giving me the side eye as if to say, have we done this?
It's incredible.
Not quite sure. Friends in high places, I think, is what it is. Let's have a look at the overview of the offer. That'll show you everything that is included. Pretty exceptional as well, actually, because if you really do need a getaway holiday, I'm sure you'll agree with me, Chloe, that actually a cruise holiday is brilliant for people who are very, very busy. You know, you have very busy lives, you have very busy jobs, you find it difficult to switch off.
Yeah.
A cruise like this is just perfect for you, isn't it?
Absolutely, it definitely is. And you know, like we were saying earlier, it gives you the choice if you can be as busy as you want to be with everything going on board the ship, but you also it forces you to have that time to really relax and unwind and read the book that you've been putting off for months and all that kind of stuff. So.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you don't want to end the story in South Africa, you can actually make this even longer if you want to as well, because this cruise, when it stops off in South Africa, remember this package, we then get off in Cape Town in South Africa and then come back, but you can continue it on to Port Elizabeth in South Africa, Reunion Island, Port Louis in Mauritius, and have a few days at sea to Singapore and make it an even longer cruise. In fact, you can make it even longer than that because it's on a long, long journey which ends eventually in Brisbane in Australia. So you can make that a heck of a lot longer package if you want to. Again, let's talk to the team right now and explore those possibilities. 0800 953 4700. Let's get back on board Voyage of the Seas and have another look around. As it is on this package, we're on board for 18 nights, but as I say, you can make that a heck of a lot longer if you want to, going all the way out to Brisbane in Australia, which would actually, I forget what that adds up to actually, it's something like 48 nights or something all told. So that's kind of like half a world cruise, isn't it?
It is. And it's some of those destinations that I think are on everybody's bucket list, but you probably wouldn't get, well, you'd never get to just on one holiday, would you?
No.
It'd be multiple holidays.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible itinerary.
Yeah, and I looked at the pricing. I mean, like, I know the pricing as well. So if you were to take this one from Barcelona all the way to Brisbane, you are looking in the around about 5,300, which actually, when you think about it, all the travel that you're doing there and so much that is included. Yeah. I mean, if you were on board day by day on Voyager and you think, right, okay, well, I'm not paying for this and I'm not paying for that. You know how expensive it is to go for a coffee these days. Yeah. You know, just 2 coffees, no cake, no sandwich, no nothing. You know how much that is. So imagine day by day, when you have those sea days, you've got, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, even breakfast in a hotel. How much is that?
Yeah. God, you must be.
That could be 20 quid each, can't it?
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, the value for money that this offers, quite apart from the breadth of travel.
Yeah.
And there's the old thing of, and I know it gets a little bit tired talking about it, but if you go on one of these longer cruises, when you're unpacking just once into your ample wardrobe space, then that's it.
Yeah.
Then you can just go travelling. You haven't got to think of, right, okay, right, we're packing again because we're off tomorrow. It's a train tomorrow. It's a this tomorrow. It's that. You know, you haven't got any of those worries, have you?
Exactly. And when you're away for that long as well, again, it can seem a little bit daunting sometimes, but you've got to remember all of the facilities we have on board. So you can have your clothes washed and, you know, there's so many different things that you do only have to pack for one short trip, but you get that longer experience as well. So
it's amazing, isn't it? It's almost
really
too easy, isn't it?
I know, I want to book it myself.
Yeah. Well, wait till you see the next one then, because this one you'll definitely want to do, because we're off to the Caribbean next for an epic journey, and this is next April, over 22 nights of cruising with Royal Caribbean. And before we cruise, we fly you over to San Juan in Puerto Rico in the Caribbean for a 2-night hotel stay. That's nice, because actually quite often San Juan is in the middle of a Caribbean itinerary, and it's a beautiful place, and quite often you have to limit your choices of what to do in, you know, in one single day that a cruise ship's in. To have a couple of nights there already, I think it just sets the scene, doesn't it? First of all, when you get to the Caribbean, you know, it is a long flight, so you need to get yourself the right way up, but you also need to see the sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's lovely as well. It's a little bit different because a lot of Caribbean itineraries that we talk about go from Miami or they go from Port Canaveral. Yes. So having this option as something a bit different is really appealing as well.
I love it, love it, love it. And here we are on Brilliance of the Seas, and this is going to be taking us around the Caribbean for 22 incredible nights. In fact, it's going to be ending up taking us all the way back to Barcelona, so it's bringing us most of the way home, which is pretty good, isn't it? After showing us the sunshine. Again, this is classic Royal Caribbean, and it's very very finest, isn't it?
It really is. Brilliance is one of our smaller ships. So like when we were talking about Voyager, similar kind of size ship, but she's got everything that you would expect to receive from Royal Caribbean. So you've still got some of our classic favourites that our guests love. But the beauty with a ship like this means that it can get to some of those destinations that the bigger ships just can't get to. So.
And it's got all of those yummy speciality options as well that we do love with Royal Caribbean as well. Chops Grill, I mean, every single time. It's funny, we were just talking about steak off camera before we started the show. And it's funny, isn't it? When you pay 30, 35 quid for a steak, even if it's bad, we never send them back, do we? Because of the price of it.
Yeah.
We feel bad about sending it back.
Yeah.
You are never going to have that issue when you're in Chops Grill.
And you'll never be disappointed in Chops either. It is one of the best steak restaurants I've ever been to.
It is incredible, and it's so well worth the cover charge, I have to say, to enjoy it. Of course, you've got so much main dining included. I've not even mentioned the Windjammer and the buffet yet, but we'll come back to that. Let's look at our cruise. Of course, we start in San Juan in Puerto Rico, so let's have some Caribbean ports first. Phillipsburg in St. Martin is first. You can take a historical tour here on a walking tour of Front Street. Sounds nice when you're in the Caribbean. Charlotte Amalie on St. Thomas is next. You can take a sky ride here to Paradise Point, which is an aerial tramway. That'll give you panoramic views over the harbour and the city. And then we will cruise on from Charlotte Amalie to St. Kitts and Nevis, to Bazatir. Now, you can take a cultural immersion tour here if you fancy it. You don't have to take tours, by the way. You can just wander as you please if you want to. But there's lots of tour excursions available from Royal Caribbean. And there are high octane and there are less energetic. Some are walking, some are cycling, some are driving. A couple of days at sea, we're in Nassau in the Bahamas. You can take a lovely glass bottom boat tour here, which is nice. And you can see the historic sites without getting wet, which is quite nice. Next, we are in Fort Lauderdale. Now, this is great because you've got lots and lots of different choices here. The Everglades is always a popular tour because it's a bit of a thrill ride at the same time, I think, isn't it? But you can go shopping maybe on this day. Next, it's time for a perfect day at Coco Cay, which is our favourite place, Chloe, isn't it?
It is.
And you've been?
I have. I was lucky enough. It's huge. I think when you see the photos, it looks impressive. And then when you're there, you're like, wow, it's real. It is incredible. When you pull up and you look at the island from the ship, you think, how can this be real? And then when you get there and you spend the whole day, it is perfect. It really is.
It's just nice, isn't it, to have all, again, it's about choice, isn't it? You know, because you can just hire a cabana and just lay and laze and feel the exclusivity of the island.
Yeah.
But if you're a bit of a fidget and you like to be doing things...
Yeah. There's plenty going on.
There is plenty going on, isn't there? And there's food and drink on the island as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
We treat it as an extension of the ship. So
Lovely.
because it's exclusive to Royal Caribbean, you can only get there on our ships. And we've got the chill side of the island and then the thrill side of the island. So depending on what your perfect day looks like, there is something for everybody.
Perfect. You can take spa treatments there as well, which sounds rather nice. A couple of days at sea, we cruise on to King's Wharf in Bermuda. Horseshoe Bay Beach is the one to spend a day at, and just enjoy and lap up and just appreciate just the wonderful weather. Sometimes we talk about these places in the Caribbean and we forget to appreciate just how amazing they are, because then it's time to cross the pond and we are in the gorgeous Azores next in Ponta Delgada, and you can take a Twin Lakes tour here and enjoy the wonderful stunning landscapes. Go whale watching too. Couple of days at sea. Here we are getting closer to home now. Malaga in Spain on the Costa del Sol. You can see the Alcazaba here. Visit the historic fortress with panoramic views over the city. Of course, you've got Granada not too far away as well to the Alhambra Palace. Next we go into Alicante. I long to see Alicante actually, because I've heard so many people talking about holidaying there over many, many years now, and I would love to see it. Great views from the Santa Barbara Castle there. And then we cruise on into Valencia. The City of Arts and Sciences is beautiful here, or the Biopark, which is a lovely zoo with animals in their naturalistic habitats as well, so that might be nice to go and see. And sadly then, but if you think about it, we are talking 22 nights later, we finally arrive into Barcelona. You know, like every good holiday, you do need to come home from, don't you, eventually, reluctantly. But look at what you've done. Look at what you've done over those 24 nights. It's ridiculous. Wait till you see the price tag. Honestly, you will be jumping straight in for this one. I think Chloe and I might be running to the phones on this one as well. It's a really, really good variety of places. I love the fact also, first you fly out to the Caribbean, you have your couple of nights there, and then you take, I mean, we can't not call it anything but a leisurely cruise. 22 nights around the Caribbean, then across the pond, and it delivers us back into Barcelona. So it's only a couple of hours flight home then, isn't it? Anyway, let me show you everything you need to know. Deposits today, just $399 per person to secure the price that we've got for you. And the price is so good, it's ridiculous. When you, again, do that totting up day by day of what's included in your cruise fare, like even the biggest production shows that you see with Royal Caribbean, you're not queuing up at the box office to hand your card over to pay 70, 90 quid a ticket to see that show. It's included in your cruise fare. And it's not just one show that you are seeing, it's different nightly entertainment of huge variety on these ships. It's ridiculous. And that price tag is crazy. Again, that's your flight from the UK out to San Juan in Puerto Rico, and we put you up for 2 nights in a hotel there before you cruise, and then when you do, it's fun, it's epic, it's Royal Caribbean. It's 22 nights on Brilliance of the Seas, which I've been on board and absolutely loved, by the way. Not for a while though, I need to go and have another little refresher. You go around the islands of the Caribbean, you've got your perfect day at Coco Cay, you've got the Bahamas and Fort Lauderdale, an extra day there, which is brilliant, and then across the pond to the Azores and Spanish coastal beauties before we arrive back into Barcelona, and then we include the flight back to the UK, because we're not going to leave you in Barcelona, are we? After all for that incredible price tag. I mean, if you think about it, just look at the length of holiday. This is like 3.5 weeks of holiday, and it's not like we're just going around the corner. We're going to the Caribbean, for heaven's sake. And we're getting a really good look at the Caribbean as well. We've got 2 nights in San Juan before you even start cruising around the Caribbean. Let's have a look at the overview of what's in the offer. And listen, if you want longer in Puerto Rico before you cruise, fine, talk to the team. We will make it happen. Or maybe when you cruise back to Barcelona, you just think, oh, I can't be going straight home from, you know, as soon as I get off the ship, can't we go straight to the airport and straight home? Have a couple of nights there just to kind of, well, you know, console yourself really that the holiday's nearly done. You know, amazing. I mean, incredible opportunity. Should we get back on board Brilliance of the Seas and have another look around? Because she is a wonderful ship. I filmed on board many, many years ago and love it. Do you know the rock climbing wall is so much more of a challenge than you expect it to be, isn't it?
I've never done it.
Oh, well, you need to.
I feel like I need to, because you look at it and you think, oh yeah, I can do that. But
I think it's
I've
too
heard
easy.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, and you're all attached and harnessed and whatever, so if you let it go, it catches you and whatever, it's all fine. But when you go, even like a few steps up, my advice would be, if you're going to do it, don't look down, because as soon as you look down, that's it, you've lost the game. But try and go as high as you can, but it's much more of a challenge than you expect it to be. But you know what, the way, and it is Royal Caribbean, it is distinctly American enthusiasm, fun, and that's not over the top. That's not like, have a nice day, y'all. It's not that kind of fun, is it? It is, but it is infectious, isn't it?
It is, and I think we always say like we have something for everyone, and it can sound a little bit cliche, but it really is true. And there's so many different things on board the ships that will appeal, especially to those multi-generational families that want to travel together. So you've got anything that is, you know, exciting for the kids, all the way up to the grandparents. So we've got, and you know, grandparents, I've seen them on the rock climbing walls and flow riders before. So you know, there's lots of different things for all types of guests. Well,
the good news, especially for someone like me, who is, you know, I've got a few extra miles on the clock, is that old isn't old anymore, is it?
No.
You know, actually, like, we're up for the challenge. We're ready, and it's great actually to see grandparents and the grandchildren kind of, you know, having that little bit of, right, come on then, let's see who can do it.
Absolutely. I was on board Anthem of the Seas last year, and there was a family, and it was the grandma went in the iFly, the skydiving simulator, and the children were too scared to do it. But grandma, who was like 80 years old, was having a great time. So yeah. And
do you know what? That's the same kind of long-lasting memory, and I know you're far too young to remember, you know, days at the seaside with an ice cream. They were like big highlights back in the day in summer holidays. You're making completely different memories now in today's today's age, which I love, because
Yeah.
I'm always saying that actually, you know, a lot of people, their memories and whatever, they're all on gadgets. They're all
Yes.
throwaway and disposable and deletable.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, actually these are real memories that you hold in your hand and your heart forever.
It's what it's all about, isn't it? It's making those core memories. I've got memories of going on board Independence of the Seas for my first cruise with my grandparents, and I'm hoping to take now my daughter on for her first cruise this year. So it's a full cycle, isn't it? So
it's incredible, isn't it? And it's something you don't necessarily imagine, you know, having been able to do yourself many years back. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a completely different world, isn't it? Anyway, listen, before I just disappear too far down nostalgia street, we've got some more offers to show you this time. These are no-fly quick picks for this year on Independence of the Seas. Funnily that you mentioned a nice link there. I'm liking it, Chloe. You can come back again. So let's have a look at some offers here. RC674 is 9 nights, which goes on the 1st of September. This is Spanish Flair. This is very nice, actually. It goes to Vigo, goes to Lisbon in Portugal, Seville, La Coruña, Bilbao, to and from Southampton, for that amazing price tag that you can see there. You can book that with a deposit as well today of just £150 each. Then the next one, RC675. Blimey, that's going soon, isn't it? Almost a late deal. 12 nights, goes on the 12th of May, off to the sunshine of the Canaries. And I have to say, given the fact that our weather has just been so ridiculously dismal month after month after month after month, maybe you just need a break from it and you need some guaranteed sunshine. That's the cruise you need, from 1215 per person. Amazing. And then we've got RC645. That's a week on Indy. Gosh, that's soon as well, isn't it? 31st of May, going to Vigo and La Coruña in Spain. And that's got an overnight in Lisbon in Portugal as well. Very, very nice. Look at that price. Check it out. You've got a couple of cracking late deals there. I have to say, I would take those up as quickly as you possibly can, because that will change. You know, I mean, it can change at any time, that price tag, and shoot up. So jump on it very, very quickly. Talking of jumping on it, should we jump on Independence of the Seas? Let's bring back some happy memories for Chloe as well, as we have a little look around. What for you was the highlight from back then? I guess you've been back on more recently as well, haven't you?
I have been on more recently, although she's not been in Southampton for about 5 or 6 years, so we're really excited to have her back here. But I think for me, like at the time when I went on board, she was the biggest ship in the world, which is crazy to think now. But just turning up in Southampton and seeing it and going up on top deck, you know, as a teenager, seeing things like Flow Rider, I was like, wow, how is this on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
And my grandparents had cruised with Royal for years, and I always thought it was just for my grandparents' kind of age. And then seeing how much was on board for all different types of guests was incredible.
Yeah,
so.
It's lovely, isn't it? And again, it's all about choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get on board. It's funny because a lot of people's experience of sailing initially is something like the cross-channel ferry, where there's somewhere to eat and somewhere to sit, and that's it.
And I think that's why people are so amazed and shocked when they get on board, because it is the total opposite of that. So it's so amazing. So.
Absolutely. And of course, these days we can watch Grease on board as well, can't we?
Yeah, one of my favourite musicals. Love Grease.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's just as good, same production as if you were to pay to go and see it in the West End. So yeah.
And the ticket price?
Free.
Fabulous.
All included, as many times as you like.
We like free. We like the word free very much. Listen, I know you've got more gossip up your sleeve.
Yes.
I just know that we're waiting for permission from them upstairs to release it.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we have to stay tight-lipped on one or two things. But you know what that means?
I'll be back.
You'll have to
very
come back.
soon.
Chloe, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Can't believe it goes so quickly, doesn't it? It's ridiculous. Listen, act upon those offers right now. If you're just joining me now and you've missed most of the show, 1, where the heck have you been? And 2, I'm joking. And 2, you can find the show again just by going to our YouTube channel and searching for Royal Caribbean Cruising Special. And it certainly is, was, has been and will be as well. And we'll be back with Chloe and some more gossip again very soon. But listen, you stay right where you are. Now you're here, let's show you some other offers.